Hey everybody, Wolf Lord Rho here. Before I begin today, a big thank you to Lance for the virtual gift voucher. Thank you very much, my friend, for the support. I truly appreciate it. But on to today. Well, I hope you've enjoyed our look at the Black Templars this week, and I thought it would only be right to end the week with a look at the Emperor's Champion. Spoiler warning to begin, the events we are discussing today are from the short story Champions All by Mark Collins. As always, I really recommend you read the story for yourself first, as that's the best way to enjoy the lore for yourself. Not only that, we help to support the great Games Workshop and Black Library, because without them, we don't have this amazing lore to talk about. I will put a link in the description as always, but let's just jump straight in. Now, this particular story follows the Black Templar Kenric, who, having been blessed by visions from the Emperor, has been anointed as the Emperor's Champion and given the fabled Black Sword. Kenric is part of the Ediok Crusade, and it is upon the desert world of Daranok that they now do battle alongside the Sisters of the Order of the Valorous Heart. Marshal Aldebert leads the crusade, but as all marshals of the Templars, he looks to the Emperor's Champion for counsel, and this morning is no different. Does he speak, Brother Kenric? Does the God Emperor bless this holy undertaking? Kenric nodded. The Emperor speaks in his tongue of fire, scouring the unworthy and girding the faithful. Glorious, Adalbert rumbled. Faith was its own reward. He has spoken, and all that remains is for you to be the edge of his blade, his champion. He placed his hand upon Kenric's shoulder and leant in. I know your pain, brother. The galaxy burns, and we fight alone, unsupported, ailing. Some would have me send word to the Holocaust Crusade, to meld our strength. He shook his head, and Kenric could see the weight of his centuries of service press upon him. While there is yet might in my body, we shall continue to do the Emperor's work. The Sons of Dawn do not turn from sacrifice. That is how the Eternal Crusade has endured. Kenric bowed his head and kept his counsel. The Ediok Crusade was once 1,000 brothers strong, but with over 50 years of battle and attempts at crossing the Great Rift, their numbers now pale in comparison. But they do not stand alone, and together Kenric and Adalbert head through their camp to the forces of the Adepta Sororitas. And it's a great image, the war-torn and ragged knights of old, unbroken and unbowed. While there is blood in their veins and faith in their hearts, they will fight in the name of the Emperor. And as they pass into the forces of the Sisters, the sounds of hymns fill the air, the ruined cathedral dominating the distant horizon. Servants slaughtered when the greenskins came. Now, it was nothing more than a Xeno stronghold, and it would be tolerated no longer. And as the Marshal draws his blade, he has only one thing to say. We end this. And this is what I've always wanted to see. Templars and Sororitas side by side. There really isn't a better chapter to ally with them than the Black Templars. They just fit together. Religious zealotry in worship of the Emperor at its finest. And the battle is intense. The forces of Templars and Sisters charging across the desert sand, and the orcs are pouring from every exit of the fortress like a tide of green. And Kenric just absolutely lays waste to them, just hacking them apart one after the other, like Sigismund reborn. Face me, Xeno dogs. The cry rippled from him, vox amplified by his armour and echoing across the battle. Face the Emperor's will made manifest. lesser beasts scattered from his path. Whether in fear or in attempt to reach his brothers, Kenric did not care. They were nothing before him, not compared to the greater examples of their filth breed. Where those things walked, he could see the Emperor's golden light, singling them out for his divine judgment. Kenric would tear apart their champions, cast down their tyrants. Only humanity would reign over this burning world. Kenric hewed the head from another greenskin, and the corpse reared back, still firing its crude gun. He moved in a storm of sword thrusts and parries, watching alien blades break on his weapon's edge or careen off his armor. The Emperor was with him, in every movement, every breath. Whether he swung his sword in great two-handed arcs or brandished it in one hand while he fired his bolt pistol, every strike was sacred. And how awesome is that? The Emperor's champion can literally see the golden light of the Emperor about the champions of the enemy. A golden light crosshair of the Emperor's vengeance. Now that I love. But as Templars and Sisters crash into the enemy, an explosion erupts the ground beneath Kenric, sending the champion into the darkness below. When he comes to, he is alone in the dark, surrounded by bodies of Templars and Sisters. With a prayer to the Emperor and a vow to not let his brothers rot in the darkness, he presses on into the gloom. And how awesome is that? The Emperor's champion, black sword in hand, with a vow to the Emperor, plunges into the dark of orc-filled tunnels. Man, I would love to have an animated version of this. And this journey through the tunnels is pretty epic, coming across a Sister Repentia, whose name could only be given as penance. The two together hack and slay every greenskin they come across. And there's an absolutely goosebump tingling moment where amid the dark, Kenric the Emperor's champion, chosen by him alone, turns back to penance and utters the line, "Will you rise with me, sister?" And oh man, if you want some holy purging in the Emperor's name, how can you not get amped up to that image? And their journey is not easy, like I said. There are some brutal fights amidst the gloom of the tunnels. They know the orc numbers will only grow the further they get. But it's here, amidst this darkness, that we see the true light of faith. He bowed his head in contrition. I wonder how I found myself upon this road. Have I erred? Should I have cleaved closer to the Marshal? I was a mere initiate before he raised me up as his champion. I have striven to be an exemplar of our creed, always forward, never showing cowardice in the face of the enemy. He looked to his sword, to the chains that bound it to him, as unyielding as honour. Could I have done more? We can only do what the Emperor has set as our task. His is the ordered universe. His the tempered blade. We are all instruments in that design, implements under that Aegis. I held rank before. I was a sister superior, watching over the outer shrine holds. She paused, lost in memory. Tears streaked her ashen, bloody features. I erred. I fought. And I lived where my sisters died. I could not save the relics. Thousands of years of history ground to dust beneath their boots, while they laughed. They laughed. Had I the option then, I would have demanded I be nailed to a penitent engine and cast into the fire of battle. This, though, is my reward. She swallowed hard before she continued. But it is his plan that guides us. It is the God Emperor's will that has brought us to this moment. What is pride next to that? What are our lives? From the mouths of the faithful, His voice was somber, and she turned to him as he spoke, silently watching. He looked up, helm inclining as he considered their options. Up then, as you say. And you know, this is why the world of 40k never ceases to amaze me. Here we are in the middle of a story of war, of purging Xenos, of the grim dark of their conflict, and the horror of being lost in the dark tunnels surrounded by enemy. Yet here, in that gloom, we get an amazing, poignant conversation like that. I've said before and I'll say it again, it's these moments of human connection that just make this lore so impactful. Kenric the Emperor's champion, gene-enhanced space marine, and blessed by the Emperor, pondering if he had erred in some way. Could he have done more? A human moment of connection, and to be shown a true meaning of faith, a light amidst the darkness, from a sister in need of repentance. And what was her crime? Surviving where her sisters did not. Not being able to defeat the enemy. Does it mean she didn't try? No. Does it mean she didn't have faith? No. She herself, for her shame, would have placed herself in a penitent engine, a fate that none would seek. Yet here she is, cast into the Sisters Repentia, and physically branded a failure, lost amidst the dark, surrounded by Xeno. Yet still through it all, she has faith in the Emperor. A true moment of connection, two servants of the Imperium who couldn't be more different, yet here united by the man who sacrificed everything for humanity. And man, I need to get me some Sisters of Battle. What an absolutely awesome little story this is. I thoroughly recommend it, guys, because they're not done there. Their journey continues, but I really just wanted to highlight this amazing scene for you all. The whole story really endeared the Emperor's champion to me, and this week as a whole has really made me want a Black Templars force. I definitely think my Indomitus set is gonna have to be the way of the Templars. And how can I not have a Sisters of Battle force now? Maybe we need a Sisters of Battle week. Now that's something to think about. But as always, guys, what did you think of it? Do you think the Templars and Sisters of Battle make perfect allies? Or would you like to see a different chapter allied with the Sisters? And what do you think of the Emperor's champion having an Emperor's bullseye on the enemy? Having targets that he makes his way through the battlefield for? Would you like to see that as much as me? How has that not been in a computer game yet, let alone an animated movie? And what of the human connection amidst the dark? It goes to show that no matter where in this grimdark universe, you can always find a moment of light. I hope you've enjoyed Black Templars week, guys. As always, leave your thoughts in the comments below. A huge thank you to all my subscribers. Your support truly means a lot to me, it really does. And if you're new, please consider subscribing to help the channel grow. If you enjoyed this particular vid, then why not drop a like on it too. But with that said, I am off, and I'll see you all again real soon.